Let's go inside out with our NBA insider Ian Begley. And Ian, the Knicks had one of their best quarters of the season in the third, but let it slip away in the fourth. More than halfway through the season, are we at the point where these ups and downs should be expected?
Yes and no, Maria. I think earlier in the season, this group, particularly the starters, were really struggling. And particularly defensively, you just didn't know what you were getting night in and night out. But I think you have seen more consistency from the team in a big picture sense over the last couple of weeks on both sides of the ball, particularly that starting unit. And you mentioned the third quarter, starters were heavily involved there. So I think the Knicks have made strides, but now it's about finishing close games. And that's something they have struggled with for much of the year.
Well, a positive note for the Knicks. Kemba Walker made his return to the lineup. He helped the Knicks stay in it with 19 points. Are they a different team when he's healthy?
Certainly when he's healthy, he gives them a dynamic that they don't have without him, which is a shooter and somebody who can create off the dribble. I think, for much of the year, though, it's been about how Julius Randle and Kemba Walker fit together. And if they can bring the best out of each other, you hadn't seen that consistently enough earlier in the season. I think that'll continue to be the issue here when Walker's healthy, but certainly he gives them more on offense than they have when he's not healthy.
For sure. And before we let you go, Ian, we got to ask about Myles Turner. You've reported he's been a potential trade target for the Knicks. Now his injury will keep him out beyond the deadline. How does that impact whether the Knicks pursue him?
I think from a Knicks perspective, you have to be comfortable trading for a player who might not be available for a week or maybe 2 weeks after the trade deadline. So I think you have to look at the standings when you get closer to the trade deadline. And if you think you can afford to be without a player like Myles Turner for a couple weeks and you can tread water until he gets back, you're confident in making the move. But if you're near the bottom of the Eastern Conference standings or you're fighting to get into the play-in seeding, I don't know if you can take that kind of risk on a player that doesn't have a major injury, but has an injury that could keep him out, again, a few weeks after that trade deadline.
We'll be on the lookout. Ian, thanks so much.